hope everyone is enjoying tea. If it's done, then I'll start.
Ladies and gentlemen, before our next speakers start the session, I request each one of you to kindly get back to your respective seat. I request kindly join us back for the session.
What's presentation? Okay, before starting my presentation, just want to understand how many of you from OER are into networking, specifically wired and wireless business. Can you raise your hands? Okay, very few. So, how many of you know Allied Telesis as a brand wherein we are into non-industrial grade business of switching? Oh, very. I hope my presentation will create a strong brand recall in partner community, so that after this presentation you'll understand Allied Telesis is not only about industrial grade switches, we are talking about AI enabled end-to-end network and security solution powered by SDN controller. So before start of my presentation, I'll brief you on what Allied Telesis and my corporate portfolio. So we are AI-enabled end-to-end network security company, headquartered in Tokyo. So last year we have done almost 400 million business in India. We are there from last 17 years. In India, we have headquarters in Bangalore. Then we have registered office in Mumbai. We are present in across all tier 1 cities. So Allied has almost 60 million plus deployment base in India. So for partners, when there are already existing OEMs are there, what value we are bringing on the table for partners is point number 1, in current scenario where most of the OEMs are struggling for deliveries. So before 3 months, the scene was very bad, but now the delivery timelines are improved. Since we have end-to-end design, development and manufacturing in-house, we could deliver the products in less than 3 weeks. My request to attendees, can you please stop talking in between, because
I would request everyone to maintain silence. In case they want to talk, they can go outside the hall, they can talk. This is a sincere request. Thank you.
thanks. So let me start with presentation now. Today when we meet, when I generally meet to all CDOs and CIOs, I have seen the first point or the challenge which they talk about is single pane of glass, absence of management module. They talk about seamless digital delivery, because today when there is a network loss is a business loss, because entire networks are running on entire business is running on applications, and applications are running on network. So networks are like roads where we are running the cars, so which play a vital role in today's ecosystem of IT infrastructure in all the large enterprises or government verticals, right? Wherein what we are bringing value to the customer is, we are talking about seamless digital experience to the customer with world-class on-premise as well as on-cloud network AI technologies, which bring simplicity, management, and flexibility to the customer, wherein all LAN, WLAN, SD-WAN, security solutions, or you are talking about AAA, managed through a single pane of glass with single OS. No other OEM in the market is giving that particular flexibility to the customer. When we talk about all biggies, which is like Cisco's or Arubas, everyone has a different OS, and we require minimum 2 management platforms. For example, in case we have to manage, let's say, wired and wireless, right? some OEM has a controller to manage that. If you talk about SD-WAN, you have to take another controller. If you have to talk about NAC, you have to take another management platform, wherein we are talking about single management platform. So then how this help customer and partner? Point number one, your operational expenditure will go low. Secondly, you require less expertise because my platforms run on single OS and the command line is, because most of here has engineers which are trained on CCNA, right? My 95% command lines is similar to Cisco, so which help customers and partners in terms of change management. So I will explain a couple of use cases because I don't want to make this presentation too technical or just bombarding to you. I wanted to keep it interactive and focus on more on the use cases, how the platform is full for different verticals so that partner community can understand and propose the same to your customers. So Allied is predominantly focusing on manufacturing, education, healthcare and government vertical. So in factory environment, we have seen there, when I visited one of the manufacturing plant of existing customer in Chennai, right? So there were only 4 guys who were taking care of entire IT. In IT, now with Industry 4.0, the OT networks are merging with IT, wherein again security plays vital role over there, right? Unlike a few years back where IT networks used to be separate from the OT networks. When we talk about manufacturing plant, there are a lot of sensors, OT devices there, IoT devices are there, wherein security is a major concern because we can deploy antivirus on the laptop or desktop, but we can't deploy the same on the cameras or printers or OT devices or IV devices. Then how can you protect those devices, right? That is like a biggest task for the security or CISO of a manufacturing vertical, right? Which we are going to address that, and how the networking plays a crucial role in terms of, because in manufacturing plant, network uptime is always a crucial because 1 minute of downtime for two-wheeler manufacturing company, it will be a 2 or 3 bikes they will not able to manufacture, right? It will be a business loss. So with Allied Telesis, we are talking about network AI technology wherein we are capturing entire data of historical as well as real-time data through our single controller and with powered by a network AI technology. What exactly it does is, once we have this platform in place, it automatically detects entire devices in the ecosystem, let's say in manufacturing plant. So those devices will be not necessary only Allied Telesis. We can detect all non-Allied Telesis solution, be it a network devices, sensor, IP devices, non-IP devices. Then how it helps for IT head by detecting this? We are doing the same without using any NAC solution. Once we discover all these devices, you will get a single dashboard wherein you will completely get a dashboard where how these devices are connected. So this will help IT head for network capacity management. It will help for the planning of the network infrastructure, right? Secondly, once you discover that, we'll able to tell you with, in next slide we'll explain performance monitoring. There are 30 parameters on which my SDN controller will give a proactive alert to a system admin before failure of any switch or router or access point, right? We are talking about proactive alert on-premise solution. Most of the OEM is talking about the same feature in the cloud. We are talking about on-premise as well as in the cloud. You don't have to share any data of your organization to the cloud. Your data, with the help of your data correlation and AI intelligence, will give you entire intelligence of monitoring. So your system admin will get, if there is an issue in the, let's say, switch, because of the CPU utilization, he will get an alert immediately on email saying that, okay, this particular switch has, let's say, 90% CPU utilization. So you can click on that and you can take the preventive, proactive action. Let's say 90% utilization of CPU. Why it's become 90%? Someone is doing BitTorrent with downloading movie. You can simply go and close that particular window. So automatically that dashboard will show green. Third is smart engineering. So when we typically talk about manufacturing deployment, can anyone tell for deploying, let's say, a plant of manufacturing where there are 1,000 switches are going to be deployed, how long it will take to implement the switching solution? Any guesses? When we talk about, let's say, because when we do implementation, we predominantly focus on ACL, QoS, VLAN, right? Generally, when we talk, I have asked question, customer was saying like minimum weeks or month, depends upon, again, requirement and availability. What we are talking about is, in 4 clicks, across core, switch, and access, we will able to deploy ACL, QoS, and VLAN. 4 clicks, that's it. You don't require to go at each switch at core, distribution, access. This is smart connect technology, smart ACL or smart engineering we are doing with the help of network AI. So zero hand of Wi-Fi access, the point number 4. This is very interesting and patented technology of Allied Telesis. When in current scenario, when there is a Wi-Fi in the manufacturing plant, what happens is, in one of the manufacturing plant, the robo was connected to Wi-Fi. And in current multi-channel architecture, let's say there are 10 access points and one robo is there. In channel 5 or radio 5, we have to connect IP, let's say AP1. He has to connect, when he is seamlessly moving, and he has to disconnect from AP1 and connect to the AP2. In that scenario, what happens is, because of the channel connection failure, you need to re-log in that. Many times, because of that, you won't get seamless performance and disconnectivity. What we are talking about is like, with single channel architecture, this is a patented, we can have this robo connected to AP1, AP2, AP3, AP4 on single channel. It's like you are going from Delhi to Agra on single on highway and you are getting dedicated one lane. There are no tolls, no speed breakers. That simple it is. So what we are going to achieve to customer is, one, seamless connectivity across plant. Second, you will get a better performance. There is no there is no disconnection. So that is the beauty of smart channel or single channel architecture. The same is helpful in enterprises, education. I will explain the use cases in next slides. Again, Wi-Fi device locationing. So this is very important feature on Allied Telesis. When we are doing the POCs and deployment, customer has come up with a requirement as, can your solution detect the entire locations of vehicles or factory workers or specific devices which are there in the manufacturing plant? So trust me, entire OEM community which have wired wireless, no one does less than 7-meter accuracy on device location. When we are talking about 1 to 1.5 meter. All right. So if there is a device or plant, we are talking about wherever he has gone, we will able to tell you the location in less 1.5 meter to 1 meter accuracy. And the most important task is, again, we are talking about data storage for last 1 year. We also do the important feature again is auto blocking action. So wherein we are talking about if there is attack in the manufacturing plant, right, and on IoT devices or OT devices where there are no agents are there, right? So we have something called a zero trust solution, right? It's like a network small, you can say source solution, network source solution, where we are done API integration with all 30 cybersecurity vendors like Palo Alto's, Fortinet, Sophos, Forcepoint, right? With the help of that, if there is an attack in your network, so all these security devices give the intelligence to my IMAP controller, and my IMAP controller in next 1 minute will block that particular attack. So that is something which we are talking about in manufacturing plant. Instead of looking at all the devices in 2 hours or 3 hours downtime, we are talking about in fraction of a second, we'll able to block that. Now, zero trust recovery, this is very important USP of Allied Telesis. Wherein currently, if there is a switch fail or access point fail, and let's say you have 10 or 15 location of your customers, right? What happens generally is, let's say there is a Cisco access point gets fail, or Aruba access point gets fail, you need to replace that AP, we need to change the firmware, we need to have minimum configuration, then you will reconnect and then push the policy from central collection, right? That is a typical process most of the companies follows or partner follows, right? Wherein it will require time is 25 minutes to 1 hour, depends upon the expertise which we have. If I am talking about, let's say, you don't require any manual intervention. If your 24-port switch gets failed, you have to connect 24-port switch. You don't require any push from the central location, or you don't require any policy. If your office, just ask office guy to connect that AP. In 3.5 minutes to 7 minutes, automatically your AP will be up. My controller has already the intelligence of data of MAC address, IP address, configuration, and firmware. So if there is a firmware change, plus or minus, he will first push the firmware and then push the policy. And after reboot, in 3.5 minutes, AP or access point will be up. So how this help partner is, your operational expenditure, your bottom line for services will be up For customer, we are talking about high business uptime. When we are talking about 3.5 minutes, over half an hour is obviously a less, almost 10 times less we are talking about computer computation. So, see, healthcare is one of the big vertical for us, wherein we have a hospital which has 2,000, 3,000 beds. In Japan, we have almost 3,000 hospitals running on allied telesis. In SARC region, we are a couple of hospitals which have 1,000 beds, which are successfully running on the hospital vertical. So there are key USPs which we have. In ICU section, there are IoT devices are there, which are sending the data of medical patients. Secondly, hospital customer, there are infusion pumps, which are very critical and expensive devices. If you want to do asset tracking of that. Third is, if you want to monitor the patient movement or nurse movement or doctor movements, you can have this particular device location solution can be deployed on the hospital vertical as well, all right? These are the 3-4 USPs wherein allied telesis can do a phenomenal job for healthcare vertical, right? Again, important aspect is when we take a pack file. So if you take a complete span of patient, it is a minimum 2 to 3 GB of file. When pushing this particular data from the LAN, you require high performance switching or line rate, wherein allied networking switching can do a successful job over there as well. And again, with the AI technology. So those partners who are there, who are interested in MSP model, we have something called as XSP model, wherein all this software which we have is AMF WAN, which is Autonomous Management Framework for wide area network. Second, AMF Plus is a management framework for the switching, AMF Plus. AWC is Autonomous Wi-Fi Controller, works on AI technology, and AMF Sec is again security solution. All these modules sit on a single SDN controller. As per your requirement, you can plug that model on for the customer requirement. And this entire solution we can host on service provider, and through slicing they can do sell it to their customer. This is model available with our in India as well for allied telesis. So this is a brief comparison of our solution versus the top competitor, right? Wherein we score on zero touch recovery or AI network. We are talking about fault detection analysis from the Wi-Fi 6 on-premise as well as in the cloud, right? Which I'll explain in detail in next slide. So as I explained, without NAC, allied telesis will able to do a device discovery. So these are the few pointers how we can do it with the IP device. We are talking about MAC address. We are talking about FDP ARP. With the help of that, we'll able to do a device discovery. We are also doing the same, and this API integration and sending the to the Nozomi, which like NMS platform predominantly used in the railways or manufacturing plant. This all third-party intelligence is also available with us. So this is very interesting feature. Once we detect the device, we are talking about device classification. If we detect the IP, we'll classify them as a printer or camera automatically, and you have option to whitelist or blacklist automatically or manually. Or you can upload the file, which are the devices you need to blacklist or whitelist, or you can also take the read. This is simply happens in the few clicks. So as I mentioned, on allied telesis, since we run AI, network AI technology on-premise, right? So we are talking about wired and wireless on both the sides, right? 30 parameters with which we are talking about if there is issue in the devices. There are 2 parameters, hardware parameters or performance monitoring parameter. If there is latency issue or jitter, right? We can quickly get an alert to your system admin guy, and he can take a proactive action so that your entire hygiene or health status of your devices show 100%. So the previous slide was talking about a wired section. This slide was talking about a wireless section. So allied telesis wireless, again patented technology, wherein we are talking about once you deployed wireless, right? Many times I have seen customer complaining about, I have deployed the wireless, I'm sitting below the AP, but I'm not getting the signal, all right? Or I'm getting a lot of signal disconnection. So what we are doing it, once you have heat map uploaded on our system, for each location we are talking about comfort level. This comfort level is arises a calculation between 5 parameters: channel availability, client capacity, connection stability, Wi-Fi signal, and airtime. So with the calculation of that, if there is issue in any of the network, you can just simply go to that network, check the comfort level. If the comfort level is, let's say, a 30 or 40, or it's very good on the 70, you will see a full pentagon over here. If there is a comfort level has an issue, like there is issue from wireless solution side itself, you will see this pentagon has only a 3 diagonal or 2 diagonal only, right? You can also get automatically entire real-time channel survey, you will get connection logs, right? Through which you can do automated RCA, which will help you identify, because wireless is a different, we can say, subject, or very complex compared to wired, right? So many times getting RCA on wireless is very difficult task. But with Allied Telesis AI technology, we can simplify the same in few clicks again. So auto recovery, which I explained currently, so without any manual intervention, we'll able to do the same, wherein others require, again, a lot of issue. So my last slide. So we have options on hardware as well as software, or appliance or virtual software for the single SDN controller here, right? So for channel community over here, we have launched a stock and sell model where we are talking about for small branches, 250 users or 500 users, a bundle solution which talk about SD-WAN router and 2 AP. So those APs are just 2 minutes. I started late, 2 minutes. Wherein this AP is talking about 4x4 APs. So this complete bundle, if you compare with the competition in Aruba or Cisco, for 250 users, we are talking about almost 42% saving on the commercial, wherein we are talking about same AI technology, zero-touch solution on the small branches as well as the large branches. And the AP which we are talking about here is 4x4 AP, which is almost 3.5 Gbps compared to Cisco 91,000 series or Aruba 535 series, almost 600 Mbps higher throughput and more connection you can take on the single AP. So these are valuable customers. For across vertical, we are in India, we are again very strong in data center vertical as well. You name any large data center, be either entities or STTs or CP or IOTA, all running on the BMS and CTV. So this is from my end. Thank you.